Good morning, everyone. My name is Romy Udanga. Today, I will have with me Fiona Green, who is the Director of Business Crisis Support. And what we're going to talk about is changes that are happening during the lockdown, COVID-19 lockdown, and also have some thoughts about the situation of small and medium enterprises post-COVID-19, right? Good morning, Fiona. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, very good, thank you. And yourself, Romy?
Quite good, quite good. We're in Auckland and it's a bit windy in here. How about where you are? You are in the far north, right?
Yes, I'm in Kama Whanganui, Northland, Tokoro.
Yeah. Your thoughts about the mental health issue and the small and medium enterprise businesses?
Oh, okay. Be grateful with the support that the government has given you, lovely people, small business enterprises and medium business enterprises, because so like a couple of years ago, there wasn't that kind of support around for some of us that experience business loss and the impact on mental health. And some of us went through a very long recovery process. And that's why I started Business Crisis Support New Zealand, and it's led by people with the experience of business loss and the impact on mental health. And I've been very open about my own story, about what happened to me, what I went through, and the first severest form of the psychological impact of business loss, which some of you will experience, is suicide. Where I've always, me and somebody else has always been campaigning about breaking that stigma, and I was actually invited to be a presenter at the first New Zealand Mental Health Conference in Christchurch Town Hall, funnily enough, on the 15th of March, and because they felt that our topic needed to get out there into the business community.
Well, one of the things that I'm going to suggest to our communities, especially those who are experiencing mental trauma when it comes to their businesses during this time, I am going to suggest to them to get in touch with you.
Yep.
In the hope that you'd be able to share your experience.
Oh, yeah. And there's a Facebook page where people can just like let off steam on some, just want to read through stuff. Like I've been straight up about what I found out about what I missed when I was in business. So people can learn things from those of us who have fallen on hard times. The support, we've been through the mental health system. We're still recovering, but I think that's important to let people know that there's people with lived experience floating around, especially in our group. They're there to support you. We're not going to judge. We're not going to interfere with your health and wellbeing program. We're just going to listen and take it from you.
Such honesty. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's what gets me into a lot of trouble, but I don't care. I mean, who else? You know, stuff it, man. If something isn't right, tell people. And that's where the integrity is. So what? Otherwise, people are still going around with this, believing everything that they've been told. And this virus has shown that a lot of the advice that they've been given is wrong, because how has it helped you?
So what have you been hearing lately from the different communities that have approached you? As the Director of Business Crisis Support New Zealand, I'm guessing that there are a lot of people who wants to hear what you have to say.
Oh, yes, well, we're hearing a different side to business, and it's business owners understandably at different stages of trauma. So initially, it's the shock. So some of them don't know that they are in shock, and anxiety, depression that kicks in because there are concerns about cash flow. How are they going to pay like their overheads, like electricity bill, telephone leases are a big thing, and some are opening themselves up to the wrong advice or advice that isn't going to address their problem. And each business has their own challenges. So rather than sending out a whole lot of, oh, this is what you should be doing, it's actually a case-by-case way of supporting them. So we don't tell them to get over it or anything like that. We listen, do a lot of listening, and the tax obligations, payments are a concern, and people are not getting their, what do you call it, wage onto these things like that. But at the same time, business owners are desperate too. But I mean, once again, that's just a kickback from the lockdown. But we needed to do the lockdown.
Can we take a look at the specific challenges that small and medium enterprises are encountering right now? In terms of people, the government has provided small and medium enterprises, not only SMEs, but as well as the bigger ones who've been affected by COVID-19 with the wage subsidy so that they can remain connected with their people.
Yes.
So are there any feedback that's coming from the ground to you regarding this negative or positive feedback?
Okay. Yes, there is a balance of positive and negative feedback, but all I've heard is actually the really good feedback, like some are saying, oh, I'm getting paid to stay home, or some are saying, oh, this is giving me time out to concentrate on other aspects of my business. And the government really, you can't say that they didn't respond. It's not as if, say, like Jacinda decided overnight, all right, this is what we're going to do. No, we've had a whole panel of experts, economists. Science is actually driving, what we're seeing now. And something is better than nothing. And I would just say that we're appropriate. Just take advantage of what's been offered, and I'm sure adjustments will be made further down the track. And what is it? The hospitality industry and tourism industry has been kicked hard, and so some are saying that it would be good to have an extension, say for at least 6 months, for rent relief and outgoings.
Yeah. Looking at the short and medium term situations, the two industries that you mentioned, when we get out of COVID, say alert level 3 or alert level 2, maybe one of the things that we can do as a country is to maybe not appropriate at alert level 3, but more appropriate at alert level 2 and alert level 1, is to support domestic tourism. And instead of going out to the different countries, we can start enjoying what we have in New Zealand.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good opportunity to ask. They're going to say, "Oh, I've been driving around looking at." Oh. No, and it's also, and I respect the people that are going through a difficult time, but it's also a time to reevaluate how we do things in business. Like who's driving the economy, like people say business, but you can't have an economy unless you have the community behind it. And because businesses rely on consumers, so how can the community help out there? I think that rather than people waiting for organisations to call shots, now is the time for innovation. If you've got your own ideas about how we can collectively lift things for the economy and in business and make business people feel really good, put in place some ideas.
Yeah, it's more like an opportunity, since we are in reset, an opportunity to take leadership roles wherever you are. Right?
Yes.
Much more like now let's be leaders in our field and let's see what we can do.
Yeah, just do what you can. It doesn't matter if you make a mistake or anything like that. I mean, if you're really passionate about something, be a leader in the nicest possible way, not a follower, just come up with some community ideas to support businesses. Social enterprises is a different way of looking at business. So instead of sort of focusing on a product or something, is there something you're passionate about, and that can be used to drive your business. And focus on that, and it brings in the whole community. That's not just a selected few.
I suppose you've gone through the government package to small and medium enterprises, the fresh one that was launched a couple of days ago.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So what do you think of that? How can businesses avail of the packages, and what does it mean in terms of them staying afloat?
Once again, it's a case-by-case scenario, personal to the business owner. But like, as I say, something is better than nothing. And the country has had to sort of work within the money that is there, that, you know, in some situations, you know, there's a holiday and you might have to pay things back later, but isn't that better than sort of being forced into insolvency? I think that's good. I think, I wanted to say, be careful with the insolvency, people, because accountants can make a lot of money out of it, and your business may not need to be liquidated. So,
can you expound more on that? The liquidation of businesses, small and medium enterprises, instead of going, say, into insolvency, what options will small businesses have?
Well, I would take advantage of the insolvency package that the government has offered, so just read through it, but I wouldn't be so quick to hasten and listen to, if it doesn't sit right with you, if you feel your business can be saved, don't just sort of automatically say, oh yes, I'll have it liquidated. Just think and read up about liquidation and insolvency and get yourself sort of up to speed with what it means and what you can possibly do in the meantime. If you're going to seek advice, just don't do anything that goes against your instinct, gut feeling, or your better judgment.
Looking at what the government has provided, there's a business finance guarantee scheme, which means to say for small and medium enterprises who are in cash flow difficulties, they can go to the bank and request for support. Of course, there will still be criteria in getting these loans out, but it's a good scheme, and 9 banks have already signed up to it, including the big ones: ANZ, ASB, BNZ, Heartland Bank, HSBC, Kiwi Bank, SBS Bank, and TSB and Westpac. So these are the banks that SMEs can go to and see if they can avail of the package, the business finance guarantee scheme that government has put in place. Apart from that, businesses can also take advantage of paid advice provided by other advisors like yourself and other advisors out there in the business community. Can we talk about that? You were talking about, or you mentioned something about not all advice should be taken from the point of view of, say, the commercial lens. But right now, we should be applying some other lenses into businesses.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, our advice comes from lived experience of having lost everything. So, nobody likes being told what to do, but from our point of view, that mental health impact, which everybody's going to be experiencing to some degree, is important to sort of be driving the advice that goes out. And I don't see the sense in, like, soon free business advice will be available to regional networks, but however, I don't see the sense in receiving the same business advice that you had from a consultant pre-COVID COVID lockdown, because things have changed. So now we have to look at business in a different way. The people leave themselves open to, like, blinking, well, I mean, people overcharge for business advice, and unfortunately business advisors and consultants are not regulated. So, but don't fall for over-the-top pricing and marketing. Just find go through, if you consulted a business advisor, ask yourself if they added any real benefit to your business, and that's how you should look at any advice that you're going to seek post-lockdown.
Yes. The other thing that I'm looking at is some companies are telling me, especially from the small and medium enterprise space, that they are planning for an X%. So the X can be, say, 70% of their usual business prior to COVID. And instead of saying that we were at 100% before COVID, we want to be in 110 or 150%. Some businesses are saying, oh, we need to be conservative and stay at, say, 70% of, or maybe target 70% of where we were before COVID. One of the things that I noticed there is a repercussion in terms of how they maintain the relationship with their workers. And for these companies, they are giving up their workers. Instead of saying, hang on, I can see that in the short term, maybe a month or two, we will be at 70%. But after a month or two, that's 8 weeks to say 12 weeks, we can be in a better position and we can exceed where we were before COVID. Some thoughts around that?
It's good to have a benchmark there to aim for, but once again, I think that it's an individual, set your own, as a business owner, set your own benchmarks, because only you know what's been happening in your business. Yes, it's hard for some businesses, because especially with hospitality, because they will know that they do have to let some staff go, because they haven't been the ones that we classed as essential businesses. If you have a really good working relationship with your staff, some may, and you have to go through the proper process of negotiating, say, a wage reduction or what have you, until things pick up again. So putting things in paper is important, and they're feeling it, your staff are feeling it just as much as you, and they'll be looking at you to see how you're reacting. Please look after the staff that have been there for a long time in your business. Those are your backbone, you need them. Age doesn't come into it, ethnicity doesn't come into it. Just be remembered for being a fair boss. And I'll tell you what, your staff will understand what's happening and some of the decisions that you have to make. But see if you are able to retain them or reduce their hours or something, come to some arrangement like that, or find another job for them through your own contacts.
Yep. When it comes to businesses, we were saying that change has come, and what are we seeing actually? Will there be a new economy that will emerge? People getting used to working from home? Does it mean to say businesses will shrink in terms of their physical offices? What scenario are we seeing here? How might that economy look, you think?
I think that people are going to be looking at more cost-effective ways of doing things. They're going to be re-looking at who they contracted in. So there'll be a drive to reduce costs if you're still afloat. I think that some will consider more opportunities or an expansion, addition to their own business through remote work. And I do you have to be blind if you can't see that that the economy has changed and business has changed, and a lot of the commonly accepted business beliefs need to change to suit a new economy. I believe that a new economy, many of us have seen that there's going to be a new economy and it's going to be more caring. I feel that that's what's going to happen. And what has to change is, I'll forget about the blinking corporate speak. Well, yeah, people just want to get going with their business. There's not going to be this class thing that I'm seeing, where everybody's in this together, and you have to include, not rely on the same conservative groups. Oh, I won't name them, but you know who I mean. I mean, there's usually the ones that sort of do try and help drive our economy and business, but that attention is now going to open up to, say, the community having more say or being more helpful for business. There won't be any of this business to business thing, or less of that. It'll be business to community, because you need the community behind you. And I do see it's going to become a lot more compassionate in business, and everything's going to be local, which is going to be a good thing.
Kinder business environment is what you're saying.
Yes, and like a switch to social enterprise and community enterprise as opposed to traditional business models. I think that to open up creativity and flexibilities, we need to look beyond, and it's going to happen, look beyond business models, come up with your own things that are going to work for you and to help build our economy. The government and local government will do their bit, and it's up to the community as well as the business sector to lock in together and drive something new. That's why I was saying, be a leader, not a follower. Just do it. Let's do it.
Yeah. You mentioned something about community enterprises. In this particular case, how can our communities support small and medium enterprises then? I mean, let's think of it post-COVID, say 2 months from now or 3 months from now. In what way can communities, local communities, support SMEs?
Well, let them have a say on how they want the economy or business done. Let them, like we're going to be doing a research for change project where we're going to encourage the community in different sectors, the disability sector, the multi-ethnic sector, to have some input to help and connect those ideas with the business community. It's all very well saying, oh, get out there and support business. Well, we will, but customers that businesses had before, it's going to change because of the way cash flow is. So they're going to have I think a lot of them are going to have to drop their prices a lot. Everything's changed. You're not going to have the same customers. You're not going to have the same suppliers. So you're going to have to base things around that. And the community enterprise thing comes with opening the doors to allowing the community and the ones that want to contribute, so like the poor or what have you.
Yeah. You mentioned a research project that you're working on. What is that research project again?
Okay, it's I'm calling it a research for change project, and we are going to. It's like providing a submission of sorts. We're just going to ask a whole lot of questions. What's working, what isn't working, what could we do better. Things like that, and it's going to be done over 6 months, and if there's anything of real interest that somebody can implement, then we'll report it. And
when is that coming out? Oh, how can people contribute to that?
Oh, right. So I've nearly completed the terms of reference, so I want to try and get it going on Monday, if possible. So, so some of the questions we've asked is what what's currently working well, what isn't working well, what could be done better, what sort of economy do you want, and like this is for the northern region, but I hope that other regions sort of take on similar initiative, and then anything else you want to tell us, because people want to contribute, and like as I say, just leave the door open for the community to get involved. It doesn't have to be business. So I'm wanting the community to have a say, have a voice, which, I mean, they'll probably come up with some really surprising solutions that we never thought about.
Yeah, anything you would like to say to the small and medium enterprises, not only in the far north, but throughout New Zealand? Any other thoughts?
Yeah, my araha to the small and medium business community out there, because people don't get it about what you're going through, the psychological impact, and some of you may not be aware of that. And I would like people who prepare to be leaders in the business community to be aware of the psychological impact of business loss, bankruptcy, and the stigmas around that. That's a topic that has been too taboo to talk about, but I've been open and raised it for more than 2 years, and it's fallen on deaf ears, particularly with Northern Link and Chamber of Commerce's. I know that Christchurch Chamber of Commerce would be excellent because they have been through a lot of traumatic things, so they would be more empathetic. I just think that people shouldn't, like organisations shouldn't take advantage of people's desperation and vulnerabilities, trying to look like heroes. Oh, look what I've done, I've got 200 phone calls. That's not what it's about. Listen to, be caring, kind and caring. And people will remember those who helped them, as well as people will never forget those who didn't help them.
Okay. Hey, thank you so much, Fiona, for spending your time with me this morning.
Thank you, Romy. Thanks. And I wanted to say to you, Romy, thank you for reaching out to the community, to the common man or common woman, which is people like myself. It means a lot to us because there's a lot of us that do want to contribute something, but because we don't fit a certain criteria, our voices are not heard, and I can't thank you enough.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Fiona. Good day for now.
Okay, thank you.